time I do this, TikTok always screws up. I hate TikTok. Sorry.
Let me know in the comments. I'll be reading them right here. So over there we have the United Democratic Senator Patrick Faber.
All right, we're back. Let me put this down here. Blah, 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 blah. So, everybody, hopefully you guys are having a good day. This is Belize right now. I don't know what the heck's going on there, but we're going to watch it.
And we have here the NTU-CB and BNTU going up and down the streets right in front of Social
We just had
Security
one that
Board,
was somewhere else, but
protesting as
in the
well.
United States, but I don't know what they. As soon as I got there, they ended it. So we'll be keeping an eye on all the streams, though. That come possible. This is I don't know what they're protesting. Something about the union or something like that. I don't really know.
Hello, Jamaica. Hello, Jamaica.
It's very nice out there, though. Nice and warm.
So the situation right now is that we have a lot of people out here. I would say probably now over 100 people. This consists of members of the United Democratic Party, members of the NTU, and members of the NTU-CB. So they're all out here protesting.
All right, let's see what else I can find as well. But
SpeedNet Smart and by the BTL, Belize Telemedia Limited. Many of their charts are saying no to the acquisition. Other charts are saying keep stop. Okay, so other charts are they're holding their charts right now, protesting their way through the street here on Princess Margaret Drive.
Princess Margaret Drive.
Social Security Board. Hello. Estamos aquí enfrente
So guys, this is Belize right now.
Instituciones SPI en la ciudad de Belize, donde las personas están aquí protestando la adquisición de una compañía.
I guess last time they protested, they got really crazy with the cops. So they were talking about that earlier.
Las policías están aquí cuidando, monitoreando la situación.
The rules of protest there are a lot different than here, and that's what we have to understand. We have a lot more rights. I mean, there are a lot of protests, but they have to do like single filely if they're in the road or weird. They were talking about some of the rules earlier, and it's funny when people in a lot of other countries.
Here we have NTU-CB President Ella Waits.
On another day. I mean, where has it come to that the police department would advise the Congress when to have a protest, or even Belizeans as a whole, when they should protest? That should not be the prerogative of the. This may be a dangerous move when it comes to the liberty and the actions that we as citizens have the right we have under Constitution to protest.
So what she's saying is basically the police get to decide when they protest, and that's what they're upset about.
There in front of Belize Telemedia Limited. What's the change today?
Of course, sharing more of the information. As in every other organization, we have to ensure we are educating our members as well about our concerns and what should be their concerns as workers. So more information sharing has been done. We always as responsible unions, we always try to start softly, that is, when it comes to industrial action. That is why NTUC will never say strike. Let's shut down the country. We start softly because we want that the powers that be listen
You
to
guys
us.
just tune in and make sure you hit like, share.
Escalate and it escalates. So last time we came out with last week, it was just to show, okay, we are on this issue, we are here. Today, more of the affiliates said we will join in the city and in Bergstromnick because they are not listening to us. They are not paying heed. And then of course Friday will be another story. We should be having more members out there and the public. Because remember, as much as you see these people here with their union t-shirts, there are other workers in this country who do not have a union t-shirt. But they will be out there, they should be out here today to say no, halt the process, roll back. Let us look at this thing very carefully, especially when it comes to our contribution to the Social Security Board.
So yes, you will be out there in front of the National Assembly Friday morning.
As long as they don't deny us our permit. But if they deny us our permit, we have a right as citizens of this country to walk in any public area we want.
Okay, so now I'm not sure if you listened to the Public Utilities Commission officials speak yesterday saying that they have to await an updated application from BTL. They disclosed that the buyout is going to be only of the shares of SpeedNet, which is something new because we didn't know that in the past. No, it's not the license. Do you consider that there are dangers in leaving a license open if the deal goes through?
Of course, I remember when we went to the presentation by BTL. If I recall correctly, they had said that with the acquisition of Smart, those very players would not be able to come into the telecom industry for 6 to 7 years. That's what we understood. Now, if you leave that open, those same players can come back in. Ashcroft can come back into the same industry. It's a very dangerous situation, and it hasn't been, I think, fully explained, ventilated to us as a Congress or to anybody else, I think. So we are still having more questions now than answers and more concerns.
Are you able to say what's been by now the breakdown of support within the NTUCB or those who are opposed to the buyout? Because I know it wasn't a unanimous vote.
We have not, because we have already given a mandate as to how we will go about with the opposition, the issue of the opposition. We cannot go through another vote. But what we're having is more engagement.
We're having more school walkouts, but I really don't like streaming those because it's a bunch of kids. They shouldn't even be streaming in the first place on the thing. So.
What we have on our Facebook page is a poll for all citizens of this country. And we've been trying very hard to get it out there. Up to now, we have over 600 persons within that poll, and our 600 close to 700 persons have voted, and 97% of those persons have voted no. And it's because we have been sharing information, we're not doing it blindly. So of just that small volume, it is a small volume compared to the amount of persons in this country, but that small volume reflects a very serious answer. It's a no at this time for the opposition. 97% has voted no.
That was originally at 99%. It dropped down by 2 points.
Yes. Well, I can't really yes, it did begin at 99% when it was only shared within the Congress. But when it went out in the public, yes. And that is a democratic process. You know, persons will vote yes because they may have different interests when it comes. Remember, there are small stakeholders in PTL as well. Some persons will vote how they feel, but the obvious fact is 97% of those close to 700 persons have voted no.
All right, so that was Ella Wade, president of the NTUCB. So over here we have members of the BNTU as well as members of the NTUCB protesting, making their voice heard right in front of the Social Security Board.
You guys just tuning in. This is Belize. Figured to throw something up. Working some hours
so
today.
We have here our colleague, editor, digital editor, Hippolyto Novello.
Yeah, so just to give an update on what's happening with Brian Yelaman Adinech. Remember, he was detained earlier this morning. So we visited the police station here in Belize, and we spoke to his attorney, Erson Oja at the Queen Street Police Station, along with the Commissioner of Police, Dr. Richard Rosado. And the couple confirmed to News 5 exclusively that Yellow Man was detained for inciting violence. According to the couple, he alleges that Yellow Man sent text messages this morning inciting violence. He will be questioned. His attorney urgent says, okay, so what we're seeing now is that the protesters are trying to breach the police barrier.
Okay, so we are seeing that the protesters are gaining access into the SSP compound. Policemen are trying to control the protesters at this moment, trying to keep them from going any further into the Social Security Board. Protesters are getting
what we got going on? Oh, they're not happy
right now. So we have their policemen trying to keep the protesters above. Now these protesters are out here today to make their voice heard.
Getting crazy in Belize.
Social Security Board. We have the UDP members confronting policemen trying to enter the premises of Social Security Board right here on Princess Margaret Drive in Belize City. Policemen have made two separate alignments, one controlling the protesters. Right behind me, I have another line of policemen as a second barrier.
Oh, big old dude right there.
Okay.
They ain't playing around in Belize.
So this is the situation right now. Protesters are getting quite physical with the policemen right out here of the Social Security Board in Belize City. Princess Margaret Drive, please. Time, this sort of escalation, confrontation has happened between protesters and policemen. The previous one happened just a week ago when protesters were trying to gain access at, in the BTL compound on St. Thomas Street in Belize City as well. That was the first protest. This is the second one whereby UDP members are trying to gain access and are getting physical with the policemen out here trying to control and monitor the protests. So this is what is happening currently right now between UDP member protesters and the policemen.
Guys, this is Belize, where protesters right now are trying to push around the cops and get into the access of the Belize Social Security something. I don't know, but they're going crazy. If you notice, the Belize police do not, at least that part does not, they're not armed.
If you could play with your money, $100 billion is not gonna leave you the money. Huh? When people sick, they can't get their money. When people get baby, they can't get their money. How willing you willing to go? They can't get their money. Are you willing to go? I went as far as them.
Okay, so that was Alfonso from a UDP member.
Oh, they've got past the line over there.
That was Alfonso right there confronting the policemen. Over on this side, we have more protesters going against the policemen boundary right here protecting the Social Security.
Guys, do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, all that nice, fun, happy stuff. Especially share it out. Still fighting that shadow ban a bit, but
against the acquisition of SpeedNet Smart IW's Telemedia Limited. We have here a UDP member confronting the police right now in front of the Social Security Board.
oh, she gonna get wild. Uh-oh.
She's being escorted out at this moment.
I mean, these people just want their money, you know.
So this is the situation right now, right here. UDP protesters, other protesters, as well as part of the members or people numbers out here. So here we have.
Mr. Hugo, Mr. Hugo, you passed the bar. We're here. We're just here observing that nothing is. I mean, there is no violation of anybody. Yeah? You step as far as back as this. We're trying to be as law-abiding, but we have to voice our opinion. This is what we're saying. We have to talk. We have a right we have a right to an opinion, and we have a right to be listened. What change do you think that will come after this? Well, let us see what happens next, but we're here making sure our voices are heard. And there have the police officer pushing back UDP supporters and the protest in front of the Social Security Board building. What we're going to try to do is trying to get over where the leader of the opposition is, Tracy Panton.
So here we have.
When horns became such a big thing in protests.
Policemen. We have the BNTU over on this corner, the NTUCB as well, and they're quite separate, but they're making their voice heard as well. They had mentioned and clarified this morning that they are not quite. 1 second. Okay, so how do you feel right now out here at this moment with the whole process right now?
I'm completely disappointed, to be quite frank with you. You know, what the police officers are doing, they're impeaching in our right to demonstrate. We're here peacefully. All we want to do is to let our voices be heard. In fact, this morning, our colleague Brian, also known as Yellow Man, he was arrested for what? Supposedly affiliated gang member. Kind of nonsense that.
How do you feel that your opponent is endorsing this situation, this acquisition?
Man, honestly, I'm not surprised. To be quite frank with you, it's been a while since he has actually listened to the people in San Pedro. Every citizen who has been paying and contributing to Social Security Board, your family, they don't want it.
Do you have your constituency out here today with you?
Yes, I do have a couple people, both from Kikaker and San Pedro. But of course, you couldn't bring a larger crowd that we would want because, of course, it takes finance. But we with the amount of people that we brought, we're making sure that our voices are heard.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so this is the situation right now out here in front of the Social Security Board. The UDP members are trying to gain access into the Social Security Board building. So we're gonna go a little bit closer at this moment. We have the Belizean flag being raised high during the protest as well. So the policemen.
The rules here are so much different than it is everywhere, you know, and a lot of, you know, than our country. So people don't understand how lucky they are to actually be able to do some of the stuff they do. The police try to actually tell you here when you're allowed to protest in Belize.
Princess Margaret Drive in Belize City. This is the current situation at this moment. Just earlier moments ago,
Belize is such a beautiful country.
Did get physical with policemen out here. Now, this is a confrontation that has happened.
One hand, man. You ain't seen nothing yet. Just to start. You ain't seen nothing yet.
police lined up right in front of the Social Security Board.
No means no. No means no. No means no.
No means no.
No means no. No means no. No means no.
This is leader of the opposition and leader of the United Democratic Party, Tracy Panton, alongside with Patrick Bauer, a UDP senator. They are chanting no means no.
No means no. No means no. No means no. No means no. No means no. No means no. No means no.
Right now, they are being held up right now by the policemen lined up right in front of the Social Security Board on Princess Margaret Drive in Belize City. This is Patrick Bauer, UDP senator, alongside with UDP leader and opposition leader Tracy Panton.
No means no. No means no. No means no.
They are out here chanting no means no against the acquisition of SpeedNet Smart by BTL. Previously to this, they had a protest right in front of the BTL compound as well, just a week ago. And they were standing against the same situation, the acquisition of SpeedNet Smart by the BTL company. Now, this is the second protest. When we spoke to the leader of the opposition and leader of the party, Tracy Panton, she did mention that this is part two, but she did not shut down any possibility.
Rasta, what do you think of the police's actions out here today and their presence? What the police do to yellow man is unacceptable. I don't understand why they try to shut up one Belizean citizen who are coming out and demonstrate for the children future, Belizean future. We look like we still have power in this country. As a former senior law enforcement officer, what advice do you offer them? For who?
So this is Belize,
The
guys.
police have to do what they have to do, or we want to do what we got to do.
They've been fighting with the cops for the last 20 minutes.
Listen to me. The whole country has to come out and do a national strike to ensure that Johnny not try the way he want to do. Because the moment we do it, we want screw.
Okay, so that was Edward Roster, UDP member, speaking the issues that is happening right here today. Now, we are seeing the party members of the UDP making their way back again onto the street, Princess Margaret Drive. We are seeing them gather back over on that side. Now, they're stepping away from the Social Security building at this moment. This is the situation happening right now in Belize City on Princess Margaret Drive, right in front of the Social Security Board. Now, these people are out here. They are members of the United Democratic Party. There are members of the NTUCP. There are members of the ENTU right here raising their voice against the acquisition of.
Yeah, they got into it pretty good with the cops too. The police there don't use. They just push them, push back. They don't have weapons on them or nothing. They.
You said no. Yes.
You heard it right here. It might be an all-day protest out here in Belize City. So this is the situation right now. The UDP members are gonna start parading on the street now, right in front of Social Security Board. This is what is going on right now. We have approximately, I would say, over 100 people scattered between members of the United Democratic. You have are members of the opposition, members of the UDP.
You see what happens? It's gonna be round 3 after this.
I know we're wrong to you, Ramadan.
You have to come out and find out shit.
Like they're calling that like
Yes. Yes.
they don't want to show their hand.
No,
But
it's not.
we believe when you all be marching on Ramadan.
Come out and find out on Friday if we'll be marching in Belmont. Single file requires no permit.
You heard it right there from Beverly Williams, UDP standard bearer. Tracy, later. How do you feel right now?
How do you think I feel? I am angry. I am angry that the government is taking for Kono Mono. I
Too
am
mad.
angry.
Do you expect to be out here all day?
As long as it's necessary.
I hate that they brought horns in the protest. Whoever thought of that, I hate the horn. Belize is such a beautiful, beautiful country. It's actually really cheap to buy land there too.
This is the full strength of the UDP.
You know this is not the full strength of the UDP. We're the wrong tree.
Leader of the opposition already right now protesting against the BTL acquisition of SpeedNet Smart. So we have Patrick Power, UDP Senator. What are you going to say today?
Well, I want all the Belizean people to come out here and join us. All Belizeans have a stake. All Belizeans stand to lose from this very secret deal of BTS acquisition of Smart. And we must make our voices
I'll be
heard.
right back. I'll leave this, of course, going, but I'm going to step outside for a quick second. But I'll leave this running.
Civil disobedience is not any kind of violence. We're doing our part. We're doing our part and we're all Belizeans.
Okay, so now you have any updates on Yellow Man at this moment?
As far as we know, he's still detained and we demand his immediate release. His immediate release is all that we accept. The other man is not a member of a gang. Every Belizean knows that. They know him and they know that he belongs to no gang. So that's absolute nonsense.
Senator, do you think this is the full strength of the UDP party?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We're just warming up.
All right, thank you, Senator. So that was Senator Patrick Faber. That was Senator Patrick Faber giving us his thoughts at this moment when the UDP members are currently protesting right in front of the Social Security Board on Princess Margaret Drive in Belize City. Now, this is the situation that is happening right now as part 2 of the United Democratic Party protest. So earlier, last week, they had a part 1 of their protest right in front of the BTL compound. Okay, so at this moment, this is the situation happening right now on Princess Margaret Drive, right in front of the Social Security Board. So we have here an artist, Sanker, as well with his painting, advocating for the same thing. So we have here Sanker.
Clear, this is not political. I have no respect for both government, what they did to this institution. This is a true cash cow. I can make it very clear. It's very personal to me. As we all know, there's still a case in the court with me and Nadia Garcia. They send Nadia as I don't know if you have cash cow and you have escape court. But again, the Constitution is very clear. Freedom of expression, freedom of speech need to be protected. I will protect that when it comes to my art with my life. You understand what I tell you? Depicting 45 Janko. For 45 years, something stinking at a building. The cow plan Belize. The cow they consume millions of dollars. Shit out dollar coins for the return and when people get back. You understand what I tell you? And I had both political party, which was the UDP and PUP, but then they milk the cow. Let's not forget Nadia Finadia, very famous hot now, of Nadia Garcia. So the thing is, then they rape this cow, milk this cow. Now I have to change a couple more buckets. How crazy is this? When you got to revisit a painting that you did 10 years ago because of the corruption still continue. What are we doing?
What does the SOS mean?
If you notice out a local shit, you notice that? King fly conquers everything. Save our soul. Save our soul from what? Point made. We need to truly, truly go back into the rule book and approach things different and stop this lot of talking. You know why? You know why politicians fear their painting? You see that one there with that's Ashcroft as Monopoly? You know why they fear their painting? Because their painting speak for themselves. And Ashcroft have no power over me. The Prime Minister have no power over me. And let's make this very clear. I ain't doing nothing wrong. I am doing what the Constitution allowed me to do. It's freely express myself. And with the grace of God, that will happen until he choose otherwise. Or then choose otherwise. But once you come after my work, we have a problem.
What do you think of the acquisition of the SpeedNet marks?
And I said no comment. I didn't appear. They know why? Because I'm so frustrated. It's not going to be something they could hear if I truly say how I feel, right? So we're going to leave that. If I can't say nothing, you know what I mean. But the point is, let me continue hold these people in power, both sides, because it looks like there's never going to be a third party. It's this, we recycle it, same crap over and over, save our soul. You understand what I tell you? But at the end of the day, I came out here, I didn't want to come out here now, because I don't know about colocalized by painting. But the crowd and media, they out here, and I need to get this clear. Una leave me alone, make I do my work. If una don't, I promise you no. Una then on a wheelchair, and people will remember what we stand for when we are in government.
All right, that was artist Sanka right out here on Princess Margaret Drive, right in front. He has set up his painting right in front of the Social Security Board as well. Over on this side, we have the BNTU, members of the BNTU. At this moment, we have President Callis right now giving some comments. Let's join here.
They were a little bit more louder and more aggressive as opposed to the union. But do you still feel, despite not being as aggressive as they were, that your message is getting across?
Our presence, the BNT presence, means a lot. And when I stand, I don't only represent Nadia Martin Collis, I represent over 4,000 educators in this country. And to ensure that we have that full mandate, we meet with our membership tonight. And after that, we give them a poll to vote. And then we will know our full involvement. Right now, it's representation. And when we get our members involved, it's called participation.
We see your brothers and sisters from the other unions are out here as well. What does this mean for the unions, not just the BNTU, but all the unions?
This is a clear indication that workers of this country are not in agreement with what is happening. We demand better consultation. We want answers. That's what it means for all the unions. And what it means for GAB, BTL, and SSP is that they need to pay keen attention. They need to pay keen attention. Earlier, I was asked if I think that this is a repeat of...
Okay, so that was Nadia Calais, president of the Belize National Teachers Union, BNTU. So over here, we have more members of the United Democratic Party as well, with some banners that says, All Belizean, not only one family. We have other banners as well that the protesters are currently protesting with. More choices, more power, one says. There's more members out here of the United Democratic Party, but we just left the corner where they... We have policemen lined up once more after gaining order back. Earlier in the live, we showed how the United Democratic Party were actually over on that side, far inside the premises of the...
How many police officers do you think are out here today?
We have well over probably 30 or more. 30 or more. This is what it looks like after gaining order. Initially, protesters of the United Democratic Party had actually reached over where the vehicles park. And that's where the confrontation was holding place. Now, at this time, everybody has cooled down. Everybody is back in their cool mind, protesting peacefully. What do you think so far right now, Hippolyto?
I mean, the reaction that we saw from the police department, the police officers, when they came
All right, I'm back, guys. Sorry, hey, smoking. Sorry, like I said, was outside for a second. So yeah, this is Belize. They were just fighting with the cops. We're just checking this out, see what's going on in Belize. They are fighting the Social Security thing about their money.
Alrighty, this is
All right,
Tracy
back.
Panton,
Back.
leader of the UDP and leader of the
All right.
opposition right now. They appear to want to gain access once more further into the premises of the Social Security
About
Board.
30 minutes ago, they were fighting with the police.
Leader of the
Or 20 minutes
opposition,
ago, something
leader
like
of
that.
the UDP, Tracy Panton, alongside with Lee Mark Chan, UDP member as well, and standard bearer of the Belize City constituency.
I hate the horns. We had about a little over 100 people there. Pretty decent crowd.
30 policemen right here outside of the Social Security Board. We see them organized in a way that they have two barriers. One right outside controlling the protesters and another barrier closer to the building of Social Security Board. That is the leader of the party, Tracy Panton, guiding her protesters, guiding her members of the United Democratic Party up and down the Princess Margaret Drive, protesting.
All right, let's see what else we got going on. Let me look at my phone.
Smart by BTL. At this point, we have well over 100 people out here. Perhaps 200 is what we're seeing right now. So this is the situation right now. That is Tracy Panton running from in front of the Social Security Board. So here we see members of the United Democratic Party right now.
Not a whole lot going on right now anywhere else, so I figure we'll work on some hours, show you guys what's going on in Belize, whatnot.
So this is right now. We're hearing that UDP members are trying to gain access into the Social Security Board premises that is being currently guarded by the policemen at this moment. So this is what we have right now. Tracy Panton making her rounds around of Social Security compound, guiding her UDP members at this moment, trying to go across the compound and
The
into
rules
Social
there are a lot
Security
different too.
premises. So she has gained access to where the grassy area is. Police have tied ropes around so that it prevents protesters of going any farther. As a group of UDP party members make their way to one area of the premises of SSB, policemen immediately relocate to try and control any protesters of trying to fight their way into Social Security Board.
So apparently they're trying to get into the Social Security building, but the police are not allowing this. They were trying to push their way through shortly ago.
Leader of the opposition right now, guiding her protesters to go further into the So we have right back here policemen.
Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, all that fun, happy stuff, please.
Further aggressive push into the Social Security Board premises. So what you guys are watching right now is the protest organized by the United Democratic Party, the current opposition party, against the acquisition of Speedway Smart by the company Police Media.
Just want to make sure that was right.
This is the second protest being organized a week or so. They had protest as well. In that case, it was at the BTL compound in St. Thomas. Right now, we are in front of the Social Security Board on Princess Margaret Drive in Belize City. Tracy Panton right now in the company of her UDP members.
So the next thing we're going to be working on is we are going to be working on any of the proceeds that go to their channel, which have been nothing for a while now. But as they do start coming back in again, we're going to be working on a computer setup so we can do these more like Portland Andy does and all that with the setup a little bit better. We're going to have a few views going on at once. We're also going to be, doing a few other things with it to make it a little bit better while we're about to protest.
So they're making their way now down to the other side.
But that is eventually a slow progress, and but that's what any funds that anybody donates will be going to is getting a better setup to bring you guys better coverage. Because like I said, right now I just do this from my tablet, so luckily we are not living in a van anymore. That is nice. We are in a hotel, which is very, very, very expensive, but the van for sure.
At this moment, where the leader of the opposition, Tracy her membership to try again.
We got me a doctor's appointment for the 16th, which is good, so I can start working on my diabetes stuff and hopefully start feeling better, because I've been feeling sick for a while now. Always dizzy and stuff. It's weird.
We have well over 30 policemen. Earlier in the protest, it started with probably 15 lying up, and greater amount of policemen presence right out here of the Social Security Board. So we are seeing a growing amount of the crowd out here on Princess Margaret Drive protesting right outside of the Social Security Board. How do you feel?
Guys, feel free to use the chat too. Ask any questions. Just chat. Tell me about your day. As we watch what's going on in Belize. Still fighting that freaking shadow ban. But we'll get there.
How will you charge? Can you charge through the mic? Okay, so we are following the members. We are following the members of.
Looks like BC Preacher's on his way back to Portland.
By Tracy Panton.
His feed is just showing him driving.
Okay, so we have right now UDP members right now closer to the premises of the Social Security Board. The Social Security Board seems to be closed at the moment. I know, right? I need a.
La-da-dee-dum. Lee-da-dee-dum.
So
Something about the Social Security office, about their money. I guess they're not getting their money or something, or it's going to things they don't want it to go to. So they are protesting in front of the Social Security building in Belize right now.
The proposed acquisition of BTL for Speednet Smart. This has been going on since like 9:30 this morning. We've seen the crowd swell a bit to a couple of dozens out here as well, and we have a heavy police presence in front of the building, and they've barricaded from beyond the parking lot. And as you can see there, police officers out here, many of them, they've particularly lined the barrier. I think what they're trying to prevent is what happened at the BTL protests a couple of days ago last week. And as we told you earlier, Brian Yellowman had been detained, and we spoke to his attorney, Arson Oja Elwitong, along with the Commissioner of Police. And what we've been told and confirmed with the Commissioner of Police was that Yellowman was detained because he allegedly was inciting violence. And from what we've heard from the Commissioner of Police was that they got text messages or receipts or evidence that he was allegedly doing so via text messaging for today's protest. So they detained him. We understand he's still detained. He's being questioned. And I think the goal is to keep him away from today's protests. So because remember, he was one of the first persons who broke the police barrier at the BTL protest to try to get into the building and further into the compound. So I think that's their tactic, to keep him away from today's protest. We know that the UDP applied for a protest. It won't be for the entire day. I think they have maybe 1 or 2 hours more to go until they will be asked to disperse.
Yeah, it's like they actually have to apply to protest in Belize. You can't just go out and protest in Belize.
Alfonso Noblevich, who is the UDP mouthpiece, as well as Juliet Timbrell, was trying to break the police barrier in front of the SSB building in the Belize today.
All right, so okay, so here we have right now over 100 now, and I would say reinforced policemen out here as well. The people are out here in a mixture.
I think ours is. I mean, we're a lot more lucky than a lot of countries. They're run a lot different. Belize is a very corrupt country. The way it's ran. I mean, ours isn't the best either, but we're a heck of a lot better than Belize is doing.
Union out here as well. So this is quite the scenery we're having right now. Everybody has cooled down. Earlier in the morning, they had
a long time ago. I was planning on buying a piece of land in Belize. Belize is so beautiful.
UDP members trying to gain access.
And it's nice that their primary language is English.
Premises, but at this moment, everybody has cooled down. Everybody has made their way back out into the Princess Margaret Drive.
So joining the UDP here today, we have members of other unions, including the National Trade Union Congress of Belize, the NTUCP. We also have the Carl Hughes Memorial Hospital Authority Workers Union out here today. We have PSU.
I used to live in Hawaii. I loved it. I spent 6 months in Maui and 6 months on Oahu. I love Hawaii. Even if they called you a Hawaii over there.
As I was saying, Benita, they have, I think, 1 or 2 hours more to go in terms of.
I actually made quite a few friends with the Islanders, though.
We've seen that they started a bit. We saw police presence from about 8 o'clock this morning. They were prepared. They barricaded the compound of the SSB, basically. And we saw protesters starting to show up at about 9:30. I know the leader of the opposition has asked protesters to assemble at 10 o'clock. Some of them came around 9:30 for what we saw. The crowd has fallen a bit since then. So what we are doing now is to have the UDP protesters, about a few dozens of them, giving the round, just giving around a circle.
They were doing this earlier in the morning as well, in a wider circle all around the premises on the front of the Social Security.
They definitely protest different here as well. Like I said, you have to file for it. You can't just go out and protest whenever you want.
Earlier we asked him, that's how far he's going to get. And he said, we're going to see, and that was the beginning. So we are seeing if you try to do so now.
Unfortunately, they still use
But
horns.
there was a second attempt at breaking in, so this is apparently their third attempt now, getting closer to the Social Security.
You know what,
Board
Smoking? That's a beautiful,
building
beautiful
right
thing,
here
though.
where policemen are lined
That's
up
a
at
great
this
place to do
moment,
it.
and they are trying to keep
To be living in a
the
van, have van life. It's
protesters
beautiful over there. I love Hawaii. I've never been to Kauai though. Like I said, I was only in Maui and Oahu.
In the previous protest,
Oahu is like New York City on a freaking island, though. It's crazy in
over here
Oahu.
you have the three policemen.
At least down by like Waikiki and Ala Moana.
One person has reached the barrier.
One person has reached the border, and policemen are trying to control the situation at this moment. This makes
Great
it
fishing in
very
Hawaii, though. Great, great fishing.
off.
Well, as you can see, they're
Okay,
pushing with the
they're in.
police again.
They're in. So we have policemen at the moment. We have policemen at the moment trying to breach in.
So we're having a pushing match between the police officers and the UDP protesters up here. They're trying to breach the police barrier and it's getting intense. We have a couple of them pushing.
So they're
Pushing back as well. Hear this?
Yeah, they're very strict with their billboards. I remember going to Walmart in Oahu, and their sign is like a little. It's like this little for sale sign size. You know, they're tiny. Their advertisements they're allowed to use. Oh, that's a big old cop right there. Yep, you are correct. Hawaii is so crazy. Their signage is funny. And it was weird because it was a Walmart and a Sam's Club and a high rise. You couldn't even tell because the signs were so small. No, they had no buildings over 2 stories over there. It was definitely not in Oahu. They have high rises, so it wasn't like that in Oahu. But Maui is a little bit better, but they still have some big buildings.
Okay, so they are getting in fight right now between the policemen and protesters.
It's getting crazy in Belize.
At this very time, that is the situation happening right now. It is getting quite physical right now between the protesters and the policemen. A
confrontation between protesters and the police officers.
I wouldn't really call that oh, they're trying to go over the other side.
We have Senator Patrick Faber right here with Lee Mark Chong, UDP member trying to get access. Senator Patrick Faber, how do you feel? Patrick Faber, what is it? What do you feel right now?
It's funny that they just use a rope.
So we have here Lee Mark Chong. Lee Mark Chong, what do you have to say?
Unnecessary violence. Unnecessary violence. Freedom of press from the police car.
Right.
So you had a conversation with
electrical fence. There you go. That'll stop them. I think these people just want. I mean, it's all about the social security. It's not about access to their money, or they're using their money incorrectly or something. So I mean, when you mess with people's money, I mean, people get pretty upset.
One UDP member trying to forcefully gain access into the compound right now, and the policemen are lined up at this moment over here. So we have over here more tension, confrontation between policemen and...
It's funny that they really call it... I mean, it's just a pushing match. That's not a confrontation. I mean, when you see confrontation, you see people getting tackled and, pushed around, thrown to the ground. And the cops are actually pretty civil over here. But. If you notice, none of the police have they're not armed.
send the message.
Maybe America should take over Belize. Then I can go there easily. Although they'd make it super expensive. Right now, Belize is very cheap.
Everything that we can as the opposition. And I'm seeing that the social partners are doing the very same. You see the NTUCB out here. You see the business. You see the churches. Everybody is against this deal. And the government should take that signal.
They've actually been pretty, like a little bit of pushing and shoving, but it's actually been pretty peaceful. They just keep trying to get access to the building.
We don't want this deal, so that the government can see that we don't want this deal.
And does this take us back to your younger days when I used to run for
And the Belize government is definitely not like, it's very corrupt.
Mr. Faber, how far are you willing to go today?
Oh, it's nothing. We're not a violent people, as you know. We're certainly not a gang because they've arrested Yellow Man, claiming that he is a gang member. That's absolutely ridiculous. And I take the point now to say again, release Yellow Man. Yellow Man, it's clearly politics that they're playing.
Yellow Man.
They're trying to suppress the people's right to protest and to demonstrate. We saw it earlier this morning when the police will tell us that we can't assemble in front of the Social Security building when we had a permit to do so. They're trying to lock us into St. Joseph Street. That is ridiculous. And then for them to arrest Yellow Man, that is further ridiculous. But they say they're only following orders. They have to follow their orders. But we know what is right and what is good for this country. And that detailed acquisition of Smart is not good. And we're sending the signal again to the Social Security Board. Do not put your votes behind that acquisition. It is not what the workers of this country want. It is not good for Belize. And they must listen to us. And we will continue to agitate until they listen if they're deaf.
Do you think Yellow Man will be released after this
I
protest?
am hoping so because they will have trouble. They will have further trouble if they don't release Yellow Man shortly.
Okay, you heard it. The UDP member, UDP Senator Patrick Faber just spoke. He just mentioned.
Are you serious? I hope they still use it. Was it a Portland City Council, like a regular city judge, or it was a Portland federal judge?
On the charge of being part of a gang. What do we know so far of Yellow Man?
Yeah, again, as you heard from the UDP Senator Patrick Faber, he said that basically.
They have people literally try to break into down their windows and their walls, and they're going to say no pepper spray. That's so stupid.
He's accused of inciting violence. He's accused of inciting violence through text messages because from our interview with the Commissioner of Police, Dr. Richard Bergstromnick, Mr. Bergstromnick had mentioned that through News 5 that again Yellow Man was detained for allegedly inciting violence through text messages that they had received copies or screenshots of for today's protest. So that's the reason he is being detained. That's the reason he is still being questioned. I think he is being legally represented by attorney.
No, they'll be able to hopefully counter that, because what are they going to do if people,
until this protest is over? Why? Because they don't want him out here.
I don't know Don Shipley now.
In front of the Belize Limited headquarters.
But they have to have some way to get them to not do that without, they're going to need more people in Portland. They're going to need more federal agents, because been a light amount. If they can't use pepper spray and all that, then they're going to need to have a lot more agents.
There's no violence here. We're going to keep it peaceful. And that's how that was stopped there. I think the police is...
He was even sprayed with the pepper spray.
Yeah, the pepper spray was released there.
Okay, so we have Senator here.
Dennison, he's the senator for the private sector.
The stolen valor guy?
We have to be very
I didn't see anything about that.
Of the dangers that can come. I don't know how to say it any softer because like I said yesterday, you just need one person with evil intent one time. That is too risky for a country as small as Belize. You understand? We thrive on freedom from Love FM slang, from Channel 7 slang. For Channel 5's perspective, you can XTV represents the people that where they live. You understand? If you're the back of the fence, you get one story that has a certain slang that is more relatable to poor black people. And that is what we need to keep moving this country forward. So any attempt to put telecoms and internet. You see, that's the key. As none exists without internet access. We did do this now through internet access. Like, let's be very clear. The people of Belize in Corozal and PG can hear me speaking now because of internet. And I sure all on have redundant internet in case drop, in case smart drop. Imagine you only have one. And then now this is just shut off. Then you just have to wait till the news. There was a time where news was only given once a week, you know. You have to wait till the periodical, and you know the people at the village come and read it to you. The dark days we got past that. We can't risk going back.
All right, so that was Senator Dennis.
That's a big boy right there.
We have over here more.
He needs to be the head of pushing the line.
Member of the UDP. In a more
Big
calmly
boy.
manner, now that we have time, how do you feel right now?
I'm feeling the same way I felt about 15 or 20 minutes ago. This is a travesty. What's happening here is a travesty. The government of Belize, and I'm particularly singling out the government of Belize, because the truth of the matter is the government of Belize owns BTL. The cabinet can make an executive decision at this point in time and say, you know what, that deal cannot go through. Forget the Briceño administration's family, forget Johnny Briceño's brother and other family member who owns Smart, forget the Ashcroft Alliance and his trust, and the Belizean people will not expend in excess of $100 million on this deal. And that is what is going to sum up to be, you know, $80 million at 4.5% interest. It's about $90+ million there, right? And then on top of that, we don't know how indebted Smart is. We don't know what their liabilities are. Then you know that they owe BTL in excess of $500,000. All of these things, the employees, who will sever these employees when the transition takes place? How will the severance be paid? This is madness, man. And if we money, think about it this way. When we are born, we rely on the Social Security Board monies and contributions. When we die, we rely on the Social Security Board monies contribution. When we are sick, we rely on that contribution. When we retire, we rely on these contributions. They're putting all of this at risk for what? For the sake of feather bedding the Ashcroft Alliance and feather bedding the Briceño family members? No, man.
Yeah, now, Fonso, this was like third attempt trying to get past police. What is the goal here today?
The goal is here to show discontent. I am one of those persons that say not play with Social Security money. This is my money. 30+ years vested in here, you know.
What serves pushing past the police?
It's a show of demonstration. It's a show of discontent. We cannot be so irresponsible as to go in there and break up the place. This is our place. But it is. What? Yellow man is yellow man, and yellow man has his greatest strengths, and we will leave it at that. And let me just say about yellow man, that is a targeted victimization. That is political victimization.
Police presence, is it balanced compared to the protest?
Well, they did their job, no?
All right, that was also a member of the UDP right here outside joining with the rest of members. We over there have Central Medical Laboratory. Also, some of the lab technologists and scientists in that building are actually speculating what's going on, just steps out, spectating just what's happening outside of their door, like literally just across their compound is the Social Security Board, where policemen are lined up.
So we could see now better how many police officers are here, because they managed to converge at a single point where Alfonso Noble and others wanted to break the barrier. So just let me pan. I'll pan so we can see exactly how many police officers are here.
This is just part.
And because they move around, I can't keep track of exactly what's the number there. But basically, this is from the beginning here, and we shall see. Okay, there we have. This is the police officers out here. And of course, we have senior command as well. We have Ramon Reyes.
We do have more on the other side as well, guarding the side of the Social Security Board building compound as well.
Yeah, and because I think there was this, what I think Shane had been reporting was that their permit had for St. Thomas, and not necessarily for this part of the road here.
Yes. So this is the situation. Again, the UDP, the protesters have calmed down at this moment. Over on that side, we continue having members of the KHMH AUWU over that side, and we also have other members of other unions over
We
on that
definitely live
side
in a
as
different
well.
world now, man.
We see
It's
members
not
of
the same. The
UDP,
American dream's almost impossible now.
protesters scattering around. They're cooling off. They're making their way down the Princess Margaret Drive towards the roundabout in an orderly fashion at this moment. Police and policewomen continue.
I understand your frustration. You know, when you have,
protecting
you know, when you
this
worked your whole
SSE
life, you should be able to
compound at
have
this
these
moment.
things, but everything's so
And
expensive
as you
now, and
heard,
everything's just out of reach. And
there is one member of the
it's gonna, you know, it's
UDP
gonna be
that
really hard for
is
even. It's gonna, you know,
detained at
be
this
hard for our
moment,
children and our
and
grandchildren and all that. And that's the scary part. And that's the main reason why I do cover
Yellowman
these. I hate
Ahmet.
covering the protests,
He
but I
is
think it's very
currently in police
important
custody right now on charge
that
of
we see
being
what's
part
going
of
on,
the
not only in
gang.
our country, around the world. Some of them are, you know,
That's right.
I'm not gonna lie, I like
That's
seeing
cool. So
the
again,
lefties pepperballed
the
when they're being stupid.
protesters,
But at the
they
same time, it's
managed
like
to
I wish
march, I
I wish we
guess,
had none of this. I wish we
down
had, you know,
here.
a fair living wage. I wish we had easy, you know, better retirement options for people who worked their whole life and not lived off the system, you know. And so many things that, you know, I wish, but
So
our world's
now the
just getting
vehicles are
tougher and
making their
tougher.
way through the Princess Margaret Drive at this moment. Traffic is a bit backlogged. The street leading to St. Thomas right over there is currently being monitored by policemen as well. Right over there, which protects the side of the Social Security Board building over on that side as well. So we're seeing that members of the United Democratic Party protesters are walking towards the bridge, towards the roundabout. And then we are understanding that they will be making their way back down onto Princess Margaret Drive towards Social Security Board.
Benita, you were there for the BTL protest or not?
I was not actually, but I was behind a desk just keeping everybody updated. So if you guys need updates, visit greaterbelize.com or our social media pages where we are.
I'm sorry,
updating
Smoke, and
everybody
I mean,
right now. But
nobody
This
can
is
tell
your
you know, a
first
person's
time
frustrations, but I can,
seeing
you know, sympathize with, you know,
an action.
you know,
But
your pain
actually,
and all that.
when
And it's
there
such a
was
stressful
trying-
world
when they were
nowadays. Like
trying
we have to spend
to
so
breach
much
the
money to the
headquarters,
government. And
UDP, when,
taxes on
Tracy
taxes on
contacted
taxes.
us,
Personally, I mean, you in the mix of it.
It's
Yes,
just
I was in the
we live in a
mix of that
greedy
one.
world. Take care of this one, and the rest of our money is our money.
Against
Taxes
a
should be
major
very, very low,
situation
and
here.
it would be if we just focused on, and everything would be so much better and
again,
cheaper if we just focused on
this is
America
not
and
the
said
first
screw
time
everybody else.
a protest by a
You don't see
political
these
party
countries taking
has
care of
been
us.
done with matters dealing with police remedial limited. We said so many years ago, what happened when the UDP was in a position back then. Now we see it again. United Democratic Party is obviously strongly opposed to the proposed acquisition of SpeedNet by BTL.
So this is what we're doing right now is following the crowd of the United Democratic Party members, protesters, making their way towards a roundabout down Princess Margaret Drive. The traffic right now is a bit backlogged, and they are making their way around the roundabout. We are not quite certain at this moment if they will be going over the bridge or just simply going around the roundabout. But one thing is for sure is that they will be making their way back to Social Security Board.
So just to recap about we saw from the attempts to break the police barrier, right? So we had the first instance, we had Juliet Timbrell, who's a former UDP senator.
All right, buddy, just try to, you know, I mean, I know it's, I mean, like I said, you know, it sucks. There's so much shit going on in the world. So expensive.
And then what we saw, two separate incidents at the same location where we have again Alfonso Noble, another UDP supporters and protesters. They're trying to break that police barrier.
Guys, I'll be right back. I'm gonna step outside.
And again, like Alfonso said that's what they're here to do. They're trying to demonstrate. They're demonstrating. They're trying to show how they physically feel about the situation. They did not manage to get to the police barriers, but we saw the police. They huddled with each other, supported each other, so that order was not passed. And then we saw the incident with Patrick Faber and Iman Chung. I think Patrick Faber was thrown through the ground, or one of them was thrown through the ground.
and Mark Chang he was upset. I think that's the most clear way I could say. He was visibly upset with the police officers. What any scuffle that happened there.
Right. So this is kind of like part two of the opposition's protest towards the acquisition of SpeedNet Smart by BTL. So right now they're making their way over this bridge. What's the name of this bridge? Right, heading towards the center, the civic center. So at this moment we're not aware as to why they're walking over the bridge, but
yeah, basically one of the opposition's point and what Tracy had said earlier is that they need to show people that they are not with this agreement or with this proposed acquisition. And one of the ways they do it is to protest through the streets of Belize, to march along in the streets of Belize.
okay.
And they had the permit there to protest or to demonstrate really in front of the SSB building. So what they're doing is they're trying to amplify their presence and not confine it into one area, and that would be SSB building. But so they're trying to, I guess, the bridge. Purpose,
Yeah,
the block.
crossing the bridge.
Block the
Oh,
bridge.
blocking the bridge. So these. So this is what you're seeing right now. The UDP protesters are currently on the bridge that they are blocking right now. It is being, at the very front we have Patrick Faber, UDP senator and leader of the opposition, leader of the party, Tracy Panton. They are leading the protest right now. Trucks and bus are being pushed back off the bridge at this moment. They are getting off the bridge, reversing. So the trucks are being pushed back right now. So the trucks.
Yeah, so what we're seeing now is that the truck is being forced to reverse off the Balkan Bridge here in Belize City by the UDP protesters, and we have a bus trying to pass as well.
Okay, so.
Alright, so do you know what they're protesting for? Would you support do you support the acquisition of Smart? Will you blow your horn to support them?
Alright, so that is a bus driver. Alright, so this is a bus driver right now being caught in the middle of the bridge at this moment where UDP party members are blocking the bridge. A previous truck had to reverse out of the bridge. You see another bus reversing. Traffic is being pushed back to the opposite direction. Cannot go across the bridge right now. So this is the bridge right next to the Civic Center in Belize City. This is the situation right now. The bus driver is being forced to reverse back at this moment. This is crazy that the buses are now reversing. What do you think of it?
I mean, they basically have two options, basically, and that will be to either reverse and find another route around the bridge, or just wait. Police officers are expected to arrive in the area anytime now. They cannot and they will not allow this. So they cannot allow this. Legally, they are required to disperse the crowd. Visit bridge, the police officers will show up, and I'm thinking that they will come with reinforcement, because I think they had no idea that the UDP had this plan to come here at Belkan Bridge and block the bridge. This is one of the busiest bridge and thoroughfares in Belize City. I mean, as you saw there,
The buses are reversing.
The big truck has, and then you see far down there.
Traffic is being backed
Yeah,
up.
so you have a driver all the way back there thinking whether or not he should proceed or not, because he's right at that intersection of another road he can take. And if you see further down there, the vehicles are going they're deterring. They're going to a deter, right? So that's what's happening there. They're not getting close to the bridge. They know if they do, they might get stuck here.
Right. Do you think, what do you think that the policemen will have to do, split their force from the Social Security and relocate them
They
here?
have enough police officers to come here, plus they have other specialized units to deal with protesters. They have trained officers to deal with protesters, to deal with unrest. So I'm thinking that they will disperse other police officers here.
All right, so this is what we have right now.
Yeah, so that's what's happening here at the Belkan Bridge in Belize City. The UDP protesters have moved from the Social Security Board building, in front of the Social Security Board building, to blocking the Belkan Bridge. It would be a matter of moment when police officers arrive here. Let's see how long the UDP protesters will. And we'll see how long that they will stay here blocking the bridge. So we have traffic backed up on both sides of the bridge. We see earlier, a few minutes ago, that the truck and the buses had to reverse, and in this side of the bridge, the people are going in another direction to avoid the protests here today. And there we have it. Leader of the opposition and UDP leader Tracy Patter blowing her horn against the proposed acquisition of SpeedNet by Belize Limited. They are chanting no means no, making their sentiments very clearly. And from what we saw earlier today in front of the SSB building, they tried to breach the barrier. That didn't happen. So now they resorted to blocking the bridge here. So we have a couple of dozens people out here blocking the bridge. Police have arrived. I see a police officer way at the four corner over that side. We'll see if they send any more. But that's the situation here.
I gotta take some insulin.
Freedom of speech.
Okay, so this is what we have right now. You are viewing UDP party protesters right now on the bridge of Belize
Curious if
City,
that I'm gonna have the police
where
show
they
up or
have
not.
currently have it blocked at this moment.
They want yellow
That
man
is
freed.
Tracy Panton, leader of the opposition, leader of the United Democratic Party.
See what else is going on in the protest world. Let me look at my phone, see if we got anything else.
How long do you plan to stay here on the bridge? As long as
you stay,
The independent media.
All right, here's Tracy Panton right now.
Was the plan always to block the bridge?
All right. Okay, so we have the.
We ready for that? Make them come.
All right, so that is Tracy Tecker Panton.
Yeah, that's what she said. Make them come. So, because it was asked if they're concerned that police officers would be dispersed to this area, again, the police officers, they have a duty to do. They would not allow the continuous blocking of the bridge, and this is the Bergstromnick bridge. They blocked the bridge, and again, as I mentioned, this is a main thoroughfare, a very traffic bridge in the city.
Right in front of the Civic Center.
And what did we see earlier today with the trucks and the buses?
Well, they had to reverse back because they are unable to cross the bridge at the moment. The protesters are currently right here blocking the bridge, so all the traffic really cannot cross the bridge right now. They have to find another road.
Yeah, so basically there are two options: to stay there and wait until everything is finished, or to reverse and find another way. And that's what they did. They did the latter, and we see across the south side of their bridge, other vehicles are already finding another route to go around this bridge.
Curious if the
Now we
police
don't
will
know how
come
long
here.
the protesters will be out
Well,
here.
as you mentioned, as you heard what Tracy said earlier, that they will wait until police come. They will wait until police come, and what she said, make them come. And when they come, I'm sure they'll try to disperse the area. We'll see with how many more police officers will come. We'll see with what kind of equipment will come. We'll see if they will come with protest gear. We'll see if they come with their batons. We'll see if they come with their shields. We'll see if they come with their pepper spray. That's what we're gonna see whether to disperse this crowd. And as we've seen earlier today, they had that confrontation between some of the protesters in front of the SSB building. At the first protest at the BTL, we saw the same confrontation there. Will this incident, the blocking of this bridge, cause a more intense interaction between police officers and the protesters? We shall see, as there's no barrier.
We shall
so
see.
how would they remove these persons from the bridge?
It's kind of interesting seeing how other nations protest
They had
too.
a permit to protest up to a certain time, but that was restricted only to in front of the Social Security Board, right?
Yeah. The permit was specific as to where and what time they can or will be allowed to protest. I'm not sure if this was part of the protest. I was trying to ask the leader of the opposition if the plan was that initially the plan was to block the bridge. So their response was but then we'll see how long will it take the police officers arrive at the area. Again, what kind of equipment they'll have, and it will be again their strategy. What strategy will police officers be employed?
Okay, so they just pulled out some buckets so that the leader of the opposition, leader of UDP, can sit down for a moment while they wait and block.
I wonder what the buckets are.
This is the situation right now. The leader of the opposition has a bucket there to sit down for a moment to continue the protest right on the bridge here in Belize City. So this bridge is currently blocked at the moment. Now, the bucket is here maybe just because we don't know how long it will be out here. So if you are trying to access this bridge,
So we're waiting to see if the police show up. This is Belize, guys. They were pushing and shoving the cops over at the Social Security building, and now they are on the bridge blocking it.
They removed the buckets now. No bucket needed. Okay, so leader of the opposition is making her way over on that side right now. What we can see right now is making her way over to the side of the bridge. So if you are trying to access the bridge over here, by leading to the south side of the city, next to the Civic Center, you will not be able to cross because it is
You guys just tune in. Make sure you please like, share, and subscribe.
Protesters out here
This is
protesting
Belize
the
City.
acquisition of SpeedNet Smart by BTL. So this is the situation right now out here. We do have quite
We'll be
a
covering
lot
local stuff
of
once
the
that
UDP
becomes available as
protesters
well.
out here.
No means no, apparently. Well, it doesn't mean yes. I hate the horns.
We don't know how long we will be the time allows until these are sent over to control and remove protesters from the bridge. So right now we are not seeing any police yet arriving at the site at the location. The bridge is currently still blocked. So we have UDP protesters over on the
Where are they going
bridge,
now?
still making their voice heard on the acquisition of
Such a beautiful country.
SpeedNet by the Belize Telemedia Company, Belize Telemedia Limited Company.
You can get a small island over there for fairly cheap. I looked it up a while ago.
Alright, so we have here Senator UDP Senator Patrick Faber now leading the group.
Yeah, so we see what's going to happen now. It seems that there's movement there. There are. They did block the bridge for a couple of minutes. Police did not show up. So what they're doing now is they're moving. We're not sure where they're going.
Like freak. Oh, man. They don't really know what they're doing, I think. Let me check on my feed. No, those stupid horns. They drive me crazy. I'm not sure what this is. What is this about? Sorry guys, I'm looking at another feed. I'm trying to figure out what this is about real fast. Something to do with some police thing or whatever. Well, now they just went here.
Mr. Tuberville, aye.
We're gonna switch it to some local stuff because this is, I can't do the horn thing anymore. Hold on guys, I've got something about what's going on in the Senate. Maybe we'll watch the news together.
Yeah, so this.
All right, let's see. We're gonna go to, what's this one right here? All right, something's going on in the Senate, so let's see what that's all about. This just came live.
Mr. Lee, aye.
Let's see what's going on in the news. More of the Senate. This is the Senate or the House?
Mr. Hickenlooper, no.
I don't know what they're voting on, but they are voting on something.
Wow, if I were to go. Mr. Schumer, no.
You know, they're voting on, what is this vote for? I'm not sure if this is the keeping the government open thing or...
Mr. Durbin, no.
Mr. Durbin said no. And Schumer said no. So none of these are Democrats voting on something. But this is the House floor. Move that down. Not exactly sure what they're voting on, though.
On this vote, the yeas are 51 and the nays are 47, and the motion is agreed to.
No, whatever it was agreed.
The clerk will report the nomination.
The Judiciary, Megan Blair Benton of Missouri, to be United States District Judge for the Western District of Missouri.
Mr. Senator from Mississippi.
Mr. President, in a moment, my friend and fellow Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith will join me in taking a few moments to highlight the damage done, the devastation done by Winter Storm Fern, along with the resilience of our community and the citizens and leadership there. Fern covered much of Mississippi with freezing rain. And then a week of low temperatures locked in the blanket of ice. Nearly 200,000 homes lost power. Road travel became almost impossible. Temperatures are rising a bit now, but tragically, there's still very much devastation. And at this point, 26 Mississippians have lost their lives because of this winter storm. And that number, unfortunately, is rising every day. I do want to commend, as Senator Hyde Smith will, the communities, the churches, the schools, the businesses, donation centers, neighbors using Facebook to coordinate food distribution and boost morale, and the crews from Mississippi and from all around the country coming to help. At this point, we have 80% of affected homes now have their power restored. I commend local leaders, mayors, commissioners, the response team from FEMA, many of whom we know personally, and we're thankful for what they've done and for the resilience. I've said this in past years. In Mississippi, our federal delegation is in this for the long haul, just like we are with the tornadoes that occurred earlier. And we're grateful to the president and for our friends at FEMA for helping us recover. Now, if I might, before I yield to my dear friend, I want to point out an article that was in the magazine Garden and Gun, published by Garden and Gun some 2 days ago by Beth Ann Finley of Oxford, Mississippi. Beth Ann Finley for 5 years was our state's poet laureate. And she published this article in Garden and Gun, which says, "A beloved oak fell and Oxford rose." She could just as easily have said, and then the entire state of Mississippi rose. But she talks about
it was a heck of a storm,
the experience that her family encountered, and you can multiply that times all of the households. She says, "It was 3 a.m. and my husband and I and the youngest of our 3 children, the only one still living at home, huddled in a dark living room, jumping out of our skin with each new explosion, each crack of gunfire, except it wasn't explosives or gunpowder. It was our trees blowing their heads off and smashing to earth or thudding to our roof." She points out that we had learned during a severe ice storm some decades ago that water freezing in trees expands them too rapidly. They explode from the pressure, taking power lines with them. Some folks lose power for weeks. It's the sound of gunfire. A very good article, very well read by someone, very well written by someone who would be poet laureate. And she ends bemoaning the tree, but observing and celebrating the spirit of Mississippi. And she says, "The ice will melt, and the people of Mississippi will roll up their sleeves and crank their chainsaws. The logs will be cleared, but an uncanny new light will compress the violently lopped canopies. On our corner, the picnic blanket of shade our oak had tossed down will go unfurled. The bewildered birds' questions will go unanswered. The squirrels will take new routes to work. The anthem of November will be forever altered without the north wind scattershot of acorns on the roof." Then she ends by asking, "Do trees have souls?" Maybe it's an unanswerable question, she says, or maybe the answer's never been more obvious. I ask unanimous consent, Mr. President, that this article by Beth Ann Finley be included in the record after my remarks.
Without objection.
Thank you, and I yield the floor.
Well, that's that.
Mr. President.
The other distinguished senator of Mississippi.
Thank you, Mr. President. I join my colleague, Senator Roger Wicker, to draw the attention of the American people to the widespread devastation caused by Winter Storm Fern. This powerful storm has affected millions of Americans across the country, but its effects were especially severe in the South, a region not typically equipped to manage prolonged snow, ice, sleet, and dangerous winter conditions. This storm was particularly devastating in Mississippi, a state that simply lacks the infrastructure and equipment necessary to respond to a storm of this magnitude. We are just not prepared and certainly don't know how to drive on the roads during this time. Tragically, Winter Storm Fern has claimed the lives of at least 26 Mississippians as of February.
Let's see what's going on with Yellow Man. So Yellow Man is free.
A member of the United Democratic Party. Excuse me.
That is Yellow Man.
Police station there?
The one with the no expectations or whatever.
So there you have it, Yellow Man release. And what we will see here is obviously how the UDP members, this leadership will embrace Yellow Man as he approaches the bridge, and like he's being embraced by some of the other UDP supporters, he will be embraced, I guess, after being released from police custody a few minutes ago. He says he has been charged. He was accused of being a gang member. He's not a gang member.
There's that. When they thought there was no justice.
Okay, so that's Brian Yellowman out in it, making his way into the crowd, UDP crowd, right here on Vulcan Bridge in Belize City.
Yellow Man is
walking
free.
the bridge right now. He's falling into the embrace.
It's Belize again, guys. They're just talking about the storm over there. I don't know if it's anything to do with keeping the government open and stuff. I think that's already finished anyway. And or what, but it was boring. So this is Yellow Man. He's free. They're celebrating that on the bridge.
Right next to party leader Tracy Panton.
I feel good. I appreciate what the people are doing out there for me. But we must stand up for what is wrong. And for being here to acquire smart. It's a bad deal for Belize. It's not healthy for Belize. And we say no to Johnny Bisheno and the People's United Party.
No means no.
No means no. No means no. No means no. No means no. No means no. No means no.
Are you guys going back to Social Security?
That's where we started. We're going to end off.
All right, so the crowd is going back to Social Security board on Princess Margaret Drive in Belize City. Drive is Brian Yellowman Advocate in the embrace of Party Leader Tracy Tager Panton. And next to them is UDP Senator Patrick Fowler.
And if you guys are just tuning in, make sure you please like, share, subscribe.
Making their way down the bridge right now. Now, Yellowman has just been released after he was in police custody for charges that the police are saying are related to gang. Now, earlier when we spoke with Tracy Panton and other party leaders of the UDP, they did say that they take it as an offense, because UDP is not a gang, and if that's what the government is implying, they will have to make that known that it is not the case. So this is what we have right now. The UDP UDP protesters are making their way off the Balkan Bridge right now. Security board right now to continue their protest right outside of the SSP. So this is part 2 of the UDP protest against the acquisition of SpeedNet Smart by the BTL company. Earlier last week, they had their first protest, but that one was right outside the BTL compound on St. Thomas Street in Blaze City as well. This second protest is right outside the Social Security Board. The Social Security Board owns around 33% of the BTL, which the BTL is trying to acquire or buy. So now we're making our way. We're making our way back around the roundabout with a crowd chanting "No means no."
crap, it ended. Sorry, guys. I had to go get some insulin. Let me go ahead and end this for right now. My bad. And then I got to do a few things. I got to take my insulin and get my medicine and all that stuff. But we'll be back live in a little bit. I'm going to change a few things up as well. So we'll be back.